Yes. Where are you calling from?
I'm
And what's your
calling.
name?
My name's Adam. I'm calling from England, Yorkshire.
Okay, yeah. You Muslim or not?
No, no, no. I study Islam maybe for maybe 5, 6 years now. I
Oh wow, 5, 6 years. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I had an experience. And I knew that there was a God, and I came to my faith through apologetics, basically testing the evidence, the things that we can test, and
Mm.
how I decided which way to go was kind of comparing the prophets. You know, we share Lut, Abraham, Nuh, Musa, how we share these prophets. I mean, if someone said to you, Ali, I love your work as well. I watch you a lot. I always listen to Muslims to study, so I've watched you for many, many years. Someone said to you, Ali, you've got a grey jacket on, and someone else said you had a yellow jacket on. All we have to do is look. You're wearing a grey jacket. So when I compared the prophets, I put them side by side, the stories side by side, and I looked at the archaeology, like we have in Rome. You know, we know the gladiators existed because we have
Mm.
the Colosseum, all the stories inside and outside of Roman literature, the
Mm.
armor, things like that kind of evidence exists for the prophets out in the biblical description. I'm just wondering if that's. I know that the Quran is proof for the Quran itself, but do you have. You know, Muhammad's revelation came 600 years after Jesus. The other prophets are a lot further away, but is there evidence that backs up the story of the prophets from the Muslim description in the Quran? The Bible, I don't need to defend the Bible. I can test it with archaeology, which doesn't need an opinion. The evidence speaks quite loudly. But if, as a a scholar with a sheikh next to you, is how do
Yeah.
you test the stories of the Quranaki?
Can I ask a question? Since you brought this, it's very good that
Could
you
you
are
answer a
studying.
question,
You
Aki?
try.
Sorry, I've
Yeah.
tried to get this question answered for such a long time, and I always find questions get answered with other
Actually,
questions.
I will give one example, and I
Okay.
will give one example, and then gives you need to understand how I will give this example, which answers most of your question, and I will give one single example. Now, according to the Bible, let's use this, yeah, the example that I'm using. What was the title of the king at the time of Joseph
Are you?
in
Oh, you're
Egypt?
talking
What was the
about
title?
Pharaoh and a different
Yeah,
king.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
what's interesting?
Go with me. Go with me. Listen. Go
I've
with
done
me in this
Dawah
question.
script before, but listen, what's interesting
Okay.
is I'm not defending words. I'm looking for the evidence. These are
No, no,
titles.
not words. I'm not
So
talking about words. No, wait one second. I'm not
no,
talking about
you're
words.
shifting
No, no,
it.
no,
It's
no,
okay
I'm
if
not
you
talking about
struggle with
words.
the question. It's okay if you struggle with the
No, no, I'm not
question,
struggling with the
but
question.
this isn't
I'm
answering the
saying to you.
question.
Okay, that means you came here to listen to yourself, not to listen to the
No, I
answer.
came here for an answer off a shake.
Okay, so that's why my point is to you. When the title of the king at certain place is addressed in the Bible in a wrong way, yeah, in wrong way. Why I'm saying wrong way? For example, at certain point in the history,
Uh-huh.
the late king of England actually was a king of Egypt. Even the late queen as well. She was as well a queen
So
of Egypt
Pharaoh
at
and a
certain
king,
point.
what's the
But
difference
there
between a
was
Pharaoh and a
one,
king?
one, a pharaoh is a specific religious title in the ancient Egyptians.
Is it a religious
So they will
title?
never. No, no, yeah, it's part of the religion because they consider Pharaoh is part of the divine, part of God. So it's not just only a title of a king; it is part of divine according to them. And
But
that king or Pharaoh is kind of a representative of God
okay.
according to the ancient Egyptian. That's why
Is
they
he
have
still
used
a
the
king
title
though?
Pharaoh. Now, during the time of Joseph, Hyksos, who ruled Egypt
Is this
during the
answering
time
the
of Joseph,
question?
which is
I'm
nearly
listening
a
to you. I
thousand,
get it.
no, no, which is 1,000 years before Moses, Hyksos ruled Egypt during that time, and Hyksos never believed that the king is part of the divine, and they have used title kings amongst themselves. And actually, when they discovered in all these monuments and all these on the pyramids and the scrolls that they found, there is no single title for the pharaoh called for it. It was used for the ancient the kings during the time of Joseph.
Okay.
In fact, they were using the terms king, so they were talking about kings.
Okay.
But when it comes to Moses' time, which is during that time, the ancient Egyptian they took the title pharaoh for the king because as part of religious thing, and they said they considered is basically a representative of God. That's why they use the term pharaoh, and that's what it was used for Moses. Now, why the Quran? That's why the test you said the Quran. When we are saying the Quran is insisting for the story of Joseph, and again repeatedly 2-3 times in the.
I mean, we have the archaeology for Joseph as well.
Yes, and actually, through the archaeology, they discovered the Quran got the title right. From 100 years. Before
So, would you be? No, that's brilliant. Can I just interject for a second?
And they used to say to the Muslims, your book is wrong because it should be Pharaoh. We used to say, no, actually, our God told us it is king for Joseph, it is Pharaoh for Moses.
Silly me.
An English guy like yourself,
silly me.
Discovery of the Stone.
Okay, Yalla Habibi.
After that English guy, and then when they found the Rosetta Stone and they found the
Rosetta Stone. Okay, I know this.
Old hieroglyphic language to old Greek language to going to the Latin language, and then they discovered
words again.
Dismantled the language, which is not even not Egyptian. It was an English guy like yourself, and then they discovered it is impossible for the title of the king, and actually it's a silly thing. You know what? Just like to say,
so
for example, nowadays Sisi is the president of Egypt. I cannot call Sisi. He's the Pharaoh of Egypt.
So Sheikh,
I cannot say to him, he is the Caesar of Egypt. For example, in England,
take a breath.
If you address, for example, King Charles, if you say King Charles is the Caesar of England, everyone will laugh at you. What kind of nonsense are you talking about? But in the past, when Roman emperors ruled England, they used to call them Caesars. Do you understand the difference?
I know you've talked a lot.
Archaeological proof that tells that the Quran brought it right and the Bible got it wrong.
Did I mention Joseph?
No, you did not mention.
No,
okay. So, I mean, the beautiful thing about the colour of Ali's shirt is it's grey and they can look. How I actually came to the faith was testing them side by side. So anyone listening could just test them. They wouldn't need to...
How do you test the story of Joseph?
Yeah, so
1 second. What color is my shirt?
Isn't it grey?
Yeah, but you're saying it's yellow.
No, I'm doing an example. I wasn't saying it's yellow. If somebody,
because we're asking a simple question, we're saying
you could
how did the Quran know this fact that you're talking about grey? It's a fact.
Yes.
It's a historical
Love facts.
fact.
Love
so
facts.
I'm saying the Bible is saying my shirt is yellow.
No.
It's grey.
Yes.
1 second.
That's a fallacy, isn't it, Ali?
Did the Bible call the ruler
straw man argument? It's a straw man argument. No, but what I'm saying to you, a straw man argument.
Now, Adam, very simple. Did the Bible call the ruler Pharaoh or king?
Pharaoh in one and king in the other.
Okay, 1 second, Pharaoh.
Which is fine.
That's like you saying.
Oh, okay.
That's like you saying my.
Okay.
It's not fine. That's like you saying my shirt, my jumper is yellow.
There's a very strong argument there, Ali. It's a very strong argument there.
Thank you very much.
I nearly take Shahada on my YouTube channel.
Thank you for admitting it's strong. I appreciate it. So now
we're English though. We know sarcasm, don't you? I don't know if that's gone over your head.
I repeat again. Is the Bible the word of God?
Of course it is.
Okay, how did it get it wrong?
Can Allah's word be changed?
No, Allah's words cannot be changed.
Okay, so how can the Bible be changed? Name me one verse in the Quran or any Sahih Hadith that says... No, listen, that says it's been changed.
Look. Okay, very simple.
do you,
Very simple. Very simple.
it's very
The
simple.
reason
Allah's
Allah
word can't be
cannot
changed.
change, listen to what Allah judges, what He says cannot be reversed. Now, very simple. How did the God of the Old Testament get a historical mistake?
They're
How?
two different books. There's 66
I don't
books in
care.
the
Is it from
Bible.
the-
I'm
God
just, but
inspired man to
what
write the Bible?
you're changing the conversation instead of
Look,
how you
look,
test
I'm
the
gonna follow.
Quran.
I'm gonna give you another minute. I'm gonna give you another
I
minute.
know
Very
because you're
simple.
scared, Ali.
You
But if
said
you want to debate me
you
live,
said, I
mate,
know
we can do
Ali's
this.
You said Ali's jumper is grey.
Ali,
Okay,
Ali. If you
Adam,
want to
listen to
debate
me.
me with
Listen,
a green screen, we can.
Simple question.
I just want a simple
Why did
answer.
the God of the Bible get it wrong? Look, simple
No,
question.
but I
Why
asked you
did
a question, didn't I,
the
Ali?
God of the Old Testament
No.
get a
Ali, I
mistake
came to
so-
ask you a question and get an answer. How do you show me the evidence of the
I've
prophets?
shown yes. Sheikh, alhamdulillah, you're right. Look, alhamdulillah, it's the proof is in the pudding. So, guys, look, we're here, alhamdulillah. He was a polite person, you know, Ali's was rude, but obviously we differed. We brought evidences, but he's insisting that my top is yellow.
All we have to do is look. You're wearing a grey jacket. So when I compared the prophets, I put them side by side, the stories side by side, and I looked at the archaeology like we have in Rome. You know, we know the gladiators existed because we have the Colosseum, all the stories inside and outside of Roman literature, the armor, things like that. That kind of evidence exists for the prophets out in the biblical description. I'm just wondering if that's. I know that the Quran is proof for the Quran itself.
Because it's not really that important. So in the Andrew Tate video that I did, I mentioned that the scientific miracles in the Quran got debunked. And for some odd reason, funnily enough, like as if they thought that it was a slip of the tongue. I'll repeat it again, very carefully. The scientific miracles argument in the Quran got debunked. Yeah, I hope my tajweed was on point. So when I said this, a lot of Islamophobes were celebrating as if I was like, oh my gosh, like this video is going to be me apologizing. And no, listen, it got debunked. Now let's give some context for some Muslims so they can understand. For example, and I'll tell you where this comes from, and you know why many people in the Dawah, many Dawah, YouTubers, my colleagues, like brothers that I work with, didn't do a video. Why did you say that? Because they know it as well. In what?
Oh, has he finally stopped waffling on? Inshallah, Allah guide you to the straight path. But if he doesn't, every single video that I do in the description, there's 5 videos, purely based on evidence. If you can debunk them, come tell me. God loves you, and the truth is not subjective.
Related to faith or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a concept, for example, according to this. So, but that's why that's why the channel is the title king.
Sheikh,
But and totally contradiction in the Old Testament.
Sheikh, alhamdulillah, you're right. Look, alhamdulillah, it's the proof is in the pudding. So, guys, look, we're here, alhamdulillah. He was a polite person, you know, Ali's was rude, but obviously we differed. We brought evidences, but he's insisting that my top is yellow. So, brothers and sisters, inshallah, as you guys know, we are here till midnight. We've got 47 minutes left, inshallah.
Oh, Ali, you do your audience injustice,
Away from
bro.
our target. We can chip away from that by giving £2.
And this is the best you've
£5,
got?
£10, £50.